What's going on, everyone? Corey from Yota Expedition here. We got the 5th Gen 4Runner behind me, and in this one we're going to be doing a little bit of a DIY project. We're going to be pulling off our TRD skid plate. We're going to be painting that black, and it's just going to be giving the front end of our 4Runner a bit more of a stealth look, and it's going to go along great with our low pro bumper from C4. So let's go ahead and get that skid plate off. It's held on with 4 14mm bolts. Super easy to get off, and then we're going to get those TRD letters removed, get it painted, reinstalled, and see how it looks. All right, so we got the skid plate removed. Now I'm going to go ahead and get these TRD letters off without destroying them. So I have a trim prying tool here. These are held in with some clips and double-sided tape. So just go ahead, take your time, and work your way around and get the tape off. You're going to have to get yourself some new tape when we go ahead to reinstall these. All right, so we got all the letters removed, and honestly, the tape is still pretty sticky. I think I might be able to reuse it before I go and reinstall these. I could probably just heat it up with a heat gun and get that glue on the tape nice and tacky and reinstall it. They also have the clips too holding it in, so I don't think they're really gonna go anywhere. It would kind of be a pain to peel off all of this double-sided tape and put some new stuff on. So I think I'll just do that, and I think we should be fine. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing cleaned up and ready to be painted. I'm also gonna be putting the bolts back in so I can paint the bolt heads so I don't have a black skid plate and silver bolts, so that'll match as well. So let's go ahead and wash this thing. All right, so while the skid plate dries, let's talk about the paint that I'm going to be using. This is Trim Black from SEM. When it comes to black paint, this is probably my best recommendation. I use this stuff all the time, whether it's interior trim or body panels, whatever. If you're looking for a nice matte or flat black, this is definitely my recommendation. You can't really find it at AutoZone or anything like that. Your best bet is Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description so you can grab some of this. So this thing's pretty dry. I have it set up here in the grass, and we are ready to start laying some paint on it. I'm gonna probably do, 2 or 3 light coats on it until it's fully covered and looks pretty good overall. And then we should be good to go, and we'll go ahead and get the letters reinstalled and get this thing back on the 4Runner and see how it looks. If at some point you're spraying and your can starts to spray like garbage, or it's like spritzing paint, or it's not spraying in a nice even fan, turn the can upside down and spray it for a little bit to clean the tip out, and then try again, and hopefully you should be good. That can was giving me a little bit of issues, and it's empty anyway, so I have a new one here. I'm gonna go ahead and do a second coat in the opposite direction that I just did the first coat, and keep doing that until we are nice and covered. Just a side note, if you can prop the skid plate up so that you are painting like this versus painting like this, how I am, the can's gonna spray a lot better as well. All right, I think that looks pretty good. I did about 3 coats on it, so I'm gonna go ahead now and let this thing dry. Then we can go ahead and get those letters reinstalled. Skid plate looks good. I let this thing dry for about 10-15 minutes. I grabbed the heat gun. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just reactivate the glue on the back of the letters, get it nice and sticky again, and then go and reinstall them. I think the skid plate looks awesome. It looks way better than it did before. I'm gonna go ahead now and get this thing mounted back on the 4Runner. I might just use a jack and put a microfiber on it to jack it up in place, so I'm not struggling and having to slide it on the ground or whatever to get it in position. Obviously I wanna try to keep it as nice as possible, but it is a skid plate and eventually it is gonna get beaten up. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap up this little DIY project on painting the TRD skid plate, and I think it looks 10 times better than the way it comes from Toyota. If you wanna do this yourself and you wanna grab a can of that paint, the link, like I said, is in the description. And if you wanna grab any parts for your Toyota, you can head over to yotaexpedition.com and we'd be glad to help you out. We just dropped some new merch, so if you wanna grab a t-shirt or anything like that, head over to the site and check us out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Would you just look at that?
Look at that.
Put that
just
on.
look at that.
I can't pull it out either. I'd have to drill it.
Why don't you just look at it?
Yeah, it's sad. It's the only mark.
I mean, just look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, just get a look at that.
A cop did that.
A cop. Oh, where is he? I'd like to look.